Hello, my soul family. So this is going to be a tarot and oracle card reading for Aquarius. Sun, Moon, Rising, and or Venus. If you have Aquarius in a major chart placement, this could be a reading for you. Cross watchers are welcome. Absolutely, because if this showed up on your homepage and or you felt drawn to this reading, there absolutely could still be a message in here for you. So it's August. Do I get to start using my Halloween decks yet? I'm going to use this deck here, the Mystery House deck. Actually, I've been using this all year round because I still love it. It's not totally for Halloween, but it kind of is. It's kind of Halloween themed. I'm going to start using my Halloween decks, but I felt drawn to use this deck right now. I think this deck might be kind of like Twinflame related, so this might end up being a Twinflame reading. Most of my readings are. But let's get into it and let's find out what you need to know. And you can tell me if this resonates with you. What is this reading going to be about today? What does the person watching need to know? Keep in mind my readings, I believe these are timeless, which means I don't believe it matters when I create the reading or post the reading. I think what really matters is when you find it, that's when it was assigned for you, but it is a general collective reading, not a personal, so you still need to use your intuition to know if the message is for you or if there's certain parts of the message for you. Just only take what resonates with you. What else, spirits? What do we need to know? What is this reading about? What do we need to know today? Yeah, exactly. So it's funny how I said, I think this is a Twinflame deck. I think this is going to be a Twinflame reading. And one of the first cards out of 3 cards, we've got down here at the bottom, it says, well, the top says compelled, but the bottom says Twin Flames bound. So this is definitely a Twinflame reading. I kind of knew, I don't know. I mean, like I said, most of my readings are Twinflame readings, but I had this urge to pick this deck. And then I knew, that it was going to come out Twinflame somehow. And we have masculine energy. So we have that, plus we have masculine energy. And whenever I see, masculine or feminine, I think of Twin Flames. So we've got compelled, Twin Flames, bound. So this masculine energy is starting to feel, whoever's in the masculine in your twin flame relationship, this is definitely for twin flames, whoever's in that masculine energy is starting to or will start to feel compelled towards the feminine. They're starting to wake up. They're starting to wake up to this connection, have their spiritual awakening, and they're going to realize that they are bound to this connection. You guys have a spiritual union. You have a spiritual contract. You have free will, so you can turn away from it. But this masculine person is going to start, if they're not already feeling compelled, they will soon, towards this situation, this relationship, this journey. We also have warlock, wizard, magician casting spells. So I feel like that's similar to like the manifestation energy. I feel like this masculine is waking up to their spiritual awakening. Whoever was in the divine feminine energy probably already had done that. Depending on which wave you're in, I guess there was a thing going around basically saying that there's 3 waves. Who knows if that's true or not. I know that there were twin flames that had awoken, way before what's going on right now, but we're definitely going through some kind of a major awakening, spiritual awakening, but also twin flames activations in the past couple years, going on into the next couple years, twin flame reunions. So for whoever's going to watch this video, this is just letting you know that your masculine is starting to wake up or will be soon and is going to feel compelled towards this connection and realize this connection and what they are, or at the even if they don't know what a twin flame is, the term, they're going to know there's something secret. They're going to know they just keep coming back to you, that there's some kind of binding here going on. But then we also have this warlock, wizard, magician casting spell. So I feel like you know, they spiritually awaken. Maybe they start to get into all this spiritual stuff, manifestation, or literally casting spells, and they become this magician. You know, if you were the divine feminine and you've been watching my readings, I know magician comes out a lot. You know, that we are these magicians, we are master manifestors. Well, you're twin flame, they're the other half of you, so they are as well, but they were asleep. Now they're starting to wake up and become compelled to you, to this connection, and feel the need to manifest you or cast spells. That is so awesome. I love that. Thank you, spirits, for that message. That was awesome. Awesome and beautiful. I am sorry if my voice sounds, you know, I've been on lives a lot lately, and I didn't get enough sleep last night. I guess I didn't go to bed till like 2. I'm sorry if my voice sounds a little raspy, but hopefully you'll still want to listen to this message. There's obviously something you need to hear if you felt drawn to this message. So bear with me even if I don't sound great. You know, as this wants to come out, as a tarot reader, you know, doing this, there's going to be times when we have colds or whatever, but the show must go on. I must deliver these messages, right? We have witch's brew, alcohol and intoxication. So I don't know, you know, if they're starting to spiritually awaken, maybe they'll still have this issue, but that might be past energy where they kind of just wanted to keep themselves self-medicated, you know, drinking a lot, maybe even doing drugs or something, like not wanting to feel that pain when they go through the dark night of the soul. So I don't know if they're going through the dark night of the soul now and they're, you know, turning to self-medication here, or if that's what they just came out of. Hopefully it doesn't keep up. Tell me more about that, or tell me something else. What's going on here? Nice. This is a beautiful deck. This is a lovely deck. Okay. I wish I could take the credit. It is not mine. I do sell 2 decks, 2 twin flame decks. You can check those out on my website if you're interested in. Maybe I'll pull those out actually next so you can see them and we can use them in this, because this is a twin flame reading here. Okay, so let's see what we've got here. Funny that we're talking about, okay, yeah, funny. This is so synchronistic. Funny that we're talking about alcohol here, right? Which is brew alcohol. And then we have drunken goblin here. And it says spilling the tea, people's business. So this might also be telling me that your masculine might get drunk and spill the tea. Now this people's business, I mean, that could be, you know, their business, they're spilling it to someone else, or they could, maybe they even contact you and, you know, drunk dial you and tell you how they feel. Just remember this: drunken words or sober thoughts. When somebody's drunk, a lot of times that's what's deep inside that they can't release when they're sober, that they can't release, deal with those emotions or want to admit to. So when they're inebriated, it just comes up blowing out. The truth comes out. So if they call you up and they spill the tea when they're drunk, listen to it. That's how they really feel. I'm just saying. Unless it's just something completely ridiculous. I don't know. But so that with the alcohol, I think that's so synchronistic how we had the witch's brew, alcohol intoxication, and the drunken goblin. I love that, spirits. Thank you for that. I love those magical moments when things are so synchronistic, or, you know, the reading just flows well. I love it. Yeah, but here we have more. We have more synchronicity. Remember, we had the warlock, wizard, magician casting spells. Now we have the craft, and it says magic chemistry. So I definitely feel like this divine masculine, who's ever in the divine masculine energy, is starting to wake up, feel compelled, and they're going to start doing magic, doing juju, and or manifesting. Whether they know they're manifesting or not, whether it's purposely done. You guys have a lot of chemistry between the two of you, but I think mostly those cards came out to say you know, that they're going to be trying to make things happen. And then we have that alcohol there. So they're going to, you know, get drunk to try and suppress what they feel, to try and not feel the pain, not feel the loss. But they're going to end up drunk dialing you probably. Or if they don't drunk dial you, then they're drunk and they're spilling their tea to other people. It says it says spilling the tea, people's business, but I think it's their business that they're spilling to their friends, family, whatever. I don't know. And then we have clues, signs, numbers, evidence. They're going to start seeing, I think they're going to start seeing signs and synchronicities. Because you know what? I mean, look, us divine feminines had to go through this for so long. We've been tortured, right? If you're a divine feminine, if you're in that feminine energy, now keeping in mind, a man can be in feminine energy, a woman can be in masculine. With twin flames, there's usually one that's more in masculine, more in feminine, because we have masculine and feminine on all of us. We all have it. But one's usually more masculine, one's usually more feminine. Sometimes the energies can kind of reverse throughout the cycle. I think usually they probably keep one over the other, but so whoever's been in the divine feminine energy most likely woke up spiritually first to the connection, to just having a spiritual awakening, started seeing the signs and synchronicities first. And it's taken us years. I mean, there have been some divine feminines that are telling me, well, some people that claim to be twin flames that I've dealt with that said they've been in separation for 30 fucking years. 30 years. So for me, I guess I should feel lucky that I was at the tail end of this ascension process, of this great awakening and activation for twin flames. Because for me, it's been, I met him, I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, but I didn't realize I was going through a spiritual awakening. It was when we started lockdown. So I don't know, that was 2 or 3 years ago. When I was in the bliss phase of I didn't realize, you know, I started my spiritual awakening right when I broke up with them. I think it was probably the dark night of the soul. I had anxiety so bad I missed a month of work. I thought it was just like having a nervous breakdown from too much stress at work, but it happened the day I broke up with him. It was like I knew I had to break up with him, but at the same time, it was tearing out my soul. And I had never felt that, ever, breaking up with somebody. I just thought it was because we were so tumultuous and I had been through so much ups and downs that maybe it was, you know, wearing on my nerves. So I, as a divine feminine, had been dealing with this for, like I said, 4 years, 5 years. I don't even know how long it's been since we broke up. And so I went through the dark night of the soul. Then I went through the void. I didn't know it at the time. I didn't know what the hell was wrong with me. It wasn't till I reached the bliss phase that I started getting the signs and synchronicities really strong, and then was basically told by spirit what was happening, given these little breadcrumbs of information to help me to piece this together, to figure out what the hell was happening. The bliss phase, seeing those signs and synchronicities. So my point of saying this is that the divine feminine has had to go through this probably for years, and it's been torture. It almost feels like the divine masculine's getting off easy compared to us. So if you're a masculine watching this, let me tell you what we've been through. If you're a masculine watching this, we've been through the obsessive phase. It's maybe taken years where we can't get the masculine off our mind, but it's something we had to deal with. Is to trigger us to heal certain wounds in ourselves. So now the masculine's healing, and I mean, basically it keeps coming out that, you know, people are going to become in union in the next 6 months to a year. So I'm like, why do they only got to go through this in a year? And it took us years to get through the whole process. So maybe I feel like it's because while we were healing, it may not have seemed like they were healing, but maybe it was healing them under the surface, you know? And so they have just a little bit left to go through. So it may have seemed like they weren't going through what we were going through. We were more awakened to it, but they were like still doing the work. They were just, now they just have the last leg of work to do. So it may seem like they've got it easy, but I feel like maybe it's not quite as what it looks like. So don't be mad feminines. I understand it's like, holy shit, did we do the majority of the work and they get to just have a little bit of it? And I don't think it's that though. I think when we were healing, they were mirroring us in healing. We just couldn't see it. And there's a little bit of a delay to see it. And so now that we've healed enough to set those boundaries and surrender, which is what most divine feminines are starting to get into. If you haven't yet, don't be hard on yourself. If you're a divine feminine, it's happening. But as you do that, the masculine's starting to awake. It's starting to trigger them to awake, because when they feel your energy pull back, then they start their dark night of the soul. They've always felt your energy. It's like when I broke up with them, I might have been breaking it up in the 3D, and we might have been going into separation. We might not have been together, but he still felt my energy, because he knew I still cared. He knew I still loved him. He still felt that energy. But now that I'm starting to surrender and kind of get over it, basically, it's going to probably cause him to go into the dark night of the soul and do the awakening. This is the storyline that keeps coming out. So at this point, I could sit here and tell you the story without using cards, with my eyes closed. But, you know, we still check and see if whoever this is for is on that same path, you know, and maybe there'll be different people that come along later that are in different stages, and I still need to be able to tell them what stage. So I'm still going to keep doing these readings. But anyway, the masculine is starting to wake up, and if they aren't already, they're going to start seeing these signs. It says signs, numbers, evidence, clues. The divine, now that they're going to be spiritually awakening, you know, people say that the divine is always sending people signs and synchronicities, but it's not until you vibrate high that you can notice them. So the divine masculine has been vibrating low and not having that spiritual awakening. Now that they're having the spiritual awakening, they're going to ascend and vibrate higher. They're going to ascend in consciousness and vibrate higher, and they're going to be able to start seeing the signs and synchronicities just like we have. Yay, we're not alone in this anymore when they start to see it. And then if they are able to come back to us and say, you know, and admit this, that they've been through the spiritual awakening, and admit that they're seeing the signs and synchronicities, then we can feel like, hey, guess what? I now have validation that all this time I wasn't crazy. I wasn't just making this up. And that's when we can truly know, even though we know it in our soul, we know we have that inner knowing that it's real. When we have that external validation from them, I mean, we probably shouldn't need the external validation, but when we do, I'm sure it's gonna, for me personally, it would make me feel good to like, go, okay, it wasn't all in my head. This was real, you know? I actually made the mistake of telling the person I believe is my twin, who, I don't know, maybe he's my karmic. Maybe I find out later he's my karmic, but I made the mistake of telling him I thought we were twin flames. And his response over text was like, oh, that's cool, or something, you know? But nothing was ever said since then. I just let it go, because I'm like, oh, he probably thinks I'm nuts. But if he wasn't awakened yet, you know, maybe he feels in deep down in his soul that connection. But if he wasn't awakened yet to what this really is, and if he wasn't seeing signs and synchronicities, because I think I even told him I was seeing signs and synchronicities and stuff. I did actually, on the day I broke up with him, as I drove home, that was the first time in my life I had ever seen signs and synchronicities like that, to where I was like, were these signs? But at the time, I had no idea. You know, I hadn't been on TikTok yet. I didn't, you know, all this talk about signs and synchronicities, spiritual awakening. I had no idea about that. I was spiritual, I was into spiritual stuff, but not this deep. So I had no idea. And I just remember I ran into a massive swarm of butterflies, like so much so that I was killing them left and right with my car. I felt bad. I felt bad that I was running them over because I was trying to drive home. There's some symbology there. I'm killing these beautiful butterflies because I'm trying to run away. I'm trying to run home. But I didn't know if these signs and synchronicities that I saw on my way home were telling me that it was best to leave him, because he's somebody who has a past, and it's a past that could be dangerous. So I didn't know if the signs and synchronicities are telling me yes, because I was thinking on my way home, I need to break up with him. I can't keep doing this. I can't keep driving all the way out there to see him and going through what I was going through to see him. I was putting myself in kind of a precarious situation. Like, what am I doing? I can't keep doing this. And so I knew, and my thoughts were, I need to break up with him. And that was the first time I had started seeing these signs and synchronicities so heavily, was on my way home. And that was about 3 months after we'd met, had this bliss phase. We mostly had a relationship over webcam, because he was in a place where he couldn't come see me. I could come see him, but all we could do was kiss. We couldn't do anything else. I visited him a couple times, but again, I don't know, maybe he was just my karmic. Maybe I'll find out later that there's a real twin elsewhere. But when I started having my spiritual awakening and started getting these signs and synchronicities telling me I'm a twin flame, telling me about this twin flame journey, he's the one that fits. He's the one I've seen the signs and synchronicity. He's the one I'm obsessed over, even though like for years I couldn't stop thinking of him, even though we only like talked online over web chat for 3 months. It should have been, there's this thing that says like you should get over somebody and it should take twice as long as you were with them. So if you're with them a year, it should take 2 years. So it should have taken me 6 months to get over them. And that's always rung true with all my relationships pretty much, except that one. So he's the one that fits that, the twin flame dynamic the most. But anyway, so I saw these massive butterflies. It turns out there's a scientific reason that they were there. It was the migration of the monarch butterflies. But the fact that I ran into them, then there was this tarantula, it felt like it was in slow motion going across the road. I mean, I'm driving fast, but it feels like, so I later looked up years later when I realized I was going through a spiritual awakening and realized about signs and synchronicities, I looked up the meaning of, a tarantula, and it kind of fit to the situation. I don't remember what it was, and then on the way home, I kept seeing like parts of his name on one billboard, another part of his name on another billboard. And then I started seeing billboards where both parts of his name, he's Native American. So there's like, his first part of his name is a bird and the second part of his name is an animal. So on one, I would see the bird, and on another I'd see the animal. And then I started seeing the bird and the animal together, which was really weird that those two would be together. I also saw I had this one synchronicity show up on my Facebook page, and it was the bird and the animal up in a tree together up in the tree. And this one of the animals would be normal for it to be up in the tree, but the other animal should not be at the top of a tree with the other animals. Like, it was really weird. But that was the first time I started seeing these signs and synchronicities, was on my way home as I was like going to break up with them. But like I said, I remember them being so strong, the feeling being so strong that I was like, were these signs? Are these signs? Like, what the hell? And I hadn't been into TikTok yet. I hadn't been into this crowd where we're always talking about signs and synchronicities. That hadn't happened yet. And then I think for a while it kind of didn't happen. It kind of calmed down. But when I went through the bliss phase is when it really started for me. Found TikTok, and I do remember them saying, if you want to see signs and synchronicities, ask. And so I did ask, and then from that point on, it just got crazy. But point is that I was driving home, and I'm just these signs and synchronicities, but I didn't know if they were trying to tell me like, yes, you're doing the right thing, or no, don't break up with them. I didn't know what they were trying to tell me. But anyway, so that started our runner chaser phase. So, it was what he did that forced me to feel that I needed to do that. But technically, I was the one that kind of broke it off. So I guess I started it. But anyway, so for you, this masculine is gonna be starting to see these signs and synchronicities soon. So that is so cool. I'm so happy for that for you, because I know how it would feel to know that it's happening to them, so that I don't have to feel like, was I making it up? Is it all in my head? Is it my imagination? Because there's, in my soul of souls, I know that this is real, even though it's crazy. This experience, this twin flame experience, reading tarot on TikTok and YouTube, it's crazy. It's crazy that I'm doing this. And trust me, my family thinks I'm crazy because they think I just lost it. But when you see these signs and synchronicities, you're like, I can't make this shit up. I can't. It's real, and I know it's real. But knowing that they see it too, that there's another person, and it will validate it. I shouldn't need that validation, but so that's what makes me really excited to know that this is happening for you and your masculine. That soon, I don't know timing on this. We'll get to that in the bonus extended reading. We'll kind of gear into timing more, but that soon they're going to start seeing these clues too. Spirit's going to start feeding them clues, but they got to vibe high in order to see the clues, right? And then we have speed demon. This is like the chariot. This says driving carpool movement. So this, I just heard in my mind, because I was going to say this is a chariot moving forward towards victory and success, but I feel like this is actually them speeding towards you, like maybe coming to see you. I don't know how soon, but them you know, I know for mine, I basically was like, they keep telling me, you know, he says he misses me, he wants me to come see him, but I was the one that went to see him when he couldn't. Now that he can, I'm like, no, you know, you got to be the one to make the effort and come see me. He expects me to be the one to make the effort and go see him. So, you know, maybe you have the same situation. That's why I'm trying to tell you about my experiences, because it might also help you. There might be something out there that you know, say, yeah, it's the same thing for me. Let me know in the comments. If there's anything that I say and it resonates with you, please let me know. It's helpful. It's helpful for me to get better at reading. It's helpful for me when I make these readings and I put them out to connect with you guys and to know, like, it's kind of an empty feeling when you make a reading and you don't get comments, because you don't know if it's helping anybody or what people think. So I do appreciate your comments, but I just feel like even though I would have taken this as moving forward towards victory, success, and that could be what it is, but I just heard no, racing towards you. Speed demon. They're going to be like speeding towards you, metaphorically. So that could just be them, you know, wanting to rush in or something like that, because they're starting to wake up and feel compelled towards this connection. Compelled towards this connection here. Like that one movie, was that Vampire Diaries or whatever? I compel you. So that's enough from that deck, but wow, this was awesome. And we're already at 26 minutes and I haven't even gone into my extended reading yet. So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to go into an extended reading and we're going to find out more about this situation. So first of all, before I get into that, let me know in the comment section below if you feel in your gut that this is for you. Like, I haven't, you know, is there anything that I said that resonates with you for your experience with your twin flame? Are you the masculine or are you the feminine? Even if you're a woman, you could be the masculine. So are you the masculine? Do you feel like you're the feminine? Anything I said, did it resonate with you? And do you feel in your gut that this is for you, that this is a sign for you? Because that's the difference. You know, there was a time when I was in my bliss phase where every single reading just resonated so much, and I just knew that was spirit sending me those signs. And that's when you know it's a sign, when you just have this knowing. You don't know how you know, you just know. You have the inner knowing. It's just like, you don't know how you know, yes, I'm a twin flame. Yes, this is for me. You just know. So let me know in the comment section if that's how you feel. And if this person has recently reached out to you drunk and spilled the tea, let me know that. If it comes up and you can find this reading again to come back, or any of my readings to say, hey, in one of your readings you said this and it came true, let me know. That would be so awesome to know. I love it when stuff like that happens. I had a reading recently where I think it was like a week after I did her reading, she came back and said, it happened. What you said happened. A week after it. I mean, it wasn't even a long time. I was expecting it to be a while, you know, a long time, not right away after I gave the reading. Because a lot of these readings, especially when I first started this, it's like it wasn't going to happen right away. I was just telling them what's going to happen in the future. But now we're starting to get into this 6 months to a year energy where things are starting to actually happen. So it's really cool to watch this, like, prophecy, I call it, play out in front of my eyes. It's so cool to be a part of it too, and to have that be part of my soul's mission to help with the ascension that we're going through right now. So it is awesome. I'm really, 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 really excited about this. So I'm going to go into this extended reading. Before I go, give the reading a like, if you will. That's very helpful to me if you do that. It helps me grow on this channel. It's really hard to get a YouTube channel started. Once you get going and you get some momentum, I think it's easier because they would push your videos out. But when you're first getting started, it's very hard. Luckily, I have TikTok, so I can direct people here. But even then, it still kind of trickles in. Because who wants to get off TikTok and come over here to subscribe, you know? So if you like it, if you share the video, doing all those things will help me. I'll send you a good karma back, because if I'm a light worker and I'm supposed to be helping people and you're helping me, I think that's going to give you good karma. So there's some incentive for you. But also it helps me to connect to your energy too, so that our bond gets stronger, so that I can connect to your energy, so that more of these readings will be more tailored to you. So I think it's important to interact with the videos. So there's some good reasons. Yeah, so definitely, if you're not already subscribed, You got to do that. You got to subscribe. You got to click the notification bell to be notified when I put out these readings so that you don't miss any of this information that you need to know. What's going on in your life. It's going to help you. Hopefully, I'm going to motivate you. That's my purpose. That's what I'd like to try and do. That's what I'm trying to do. So definitely subscribe, click the notification bell. And if you want a personal reading from me, if you're not sure if this is for you or for whatever reason, you have any other question, you want a personal, where I ask spirits only about your energy, not the general collective. It's personally for you. You can get one on my website. It's www.bossasswitch1111.com. That's 4 ones. That's the only place you can donate or purchase readings from me. Okay. So if anybody ever tries to get you to pay another way, that's not me. That is an impersonator. Unfortunately, there are these scammers out there that take our pictures and our videos and try to create these accounts that look just like us. Like it could easily, don't feel stupid if you get scammed, because they are slick and you can easily fall for it. It just looks like it's us. That's why I've been putting in a lot of my TikTok videos. I've been putting, this is not me unless it has this account. My TikTok account is Boss Ass Witch. There's no numbers anymore. I used to be Boss Ass Witch 1111, but I changed that because I was able to secure just Boss Ass Witch. I'd like to keep, trying to have all my stuff be that, I guess. But, so yeah, if you want a personal reading, get one on my website. The link will also be down in the description box below, but I also like to tell people what the website address is so that you can look and make sure you're on the right website, that somebody's not, there are so many phishing things that they can do, so just make sure you're on the right website. And if you want to watch the extended, obviously, go down below. We're going to find out a lot more cool things about this situation. We're going to find out, first of all, what's going to happen with you guys in the next 6 months to a year or sooner? Are you going to come into union? If you've watched my videos before and it said you're going to come into union, then this is going to tell you if the energy is still the same, because the energy can change. Based on the law of attraction, you can change this reading. So the energy can change. It'll just tell you if it's still on track. It's kind of like a weather report. You check a weather report and you look a month from now, but then later you look a week before it very well could completely change. It changes day by day. So I see tarot readings very similar to weather reports. It's like the weather guy checks the forecast and he makes a prediction based on little things in the atmosphere. Well, it's kind of the same thing. We're just reading the current energy, so it can change. So that's why I still want to keep checking in. It could be for different people. It could be that if it changes for you, it could be that reading isn't for you. Go with whatever you see the most of. Look for patterns, just like you do with your signs and synchronicities. If you see 777 once, maybe you wouldn't think anything of it. But if you see it all the damn time, then you know it's a sign, right? So when it comes to these readings, just go with what you hear the most out of the readings. If there's little things you hear, like one time I kept hearing them say creative, creative, creative. And I don't feel creative, but what I'm doing is, I guess, kind of in the creative realm. So I knew that they were talking about my soul purpose, this, because they keep using the word creative. I kept seeing 777s, 888, so that I knew those are signs. So, if there's anything in a reading that I say and it's something you keep hearing, that is something you take as a sign. So anyway, if you want to watch the extended, like I said, we get a lot of extra information. I might pull charms, I might get advice cards, but Spirit also really loves to make those extra good. They like to pop out the synchronicities more in the extended. It's probably because we pull more cards too, but I think they're just giving me a solid and they're trying to help me make those extendeds, worth your extra $5.55. So yeah, if you wanna watch the extended, that's all it is, $5.55 for a month's access. Of course, the first payment, you don't get the full month's access unless you sign up on the first of the month, because it does renew every month. But you can cancel it anytime. You don't have to do it monthly, but I do appreciate those of you who do it monthly, because that's what's going to allow me to keep doing these readings and support this channel. So thank you so much. Plus, you keep getting that access, that exclusive access to that extra details. And it's not just for this one reading. That $5.55 gets you access to all of the extended readings that I've done up until this point, and all of the extended readings that I do going forward. A lot of freaking readings, a lot of information. So, and if you keep being a Patreon month to month, like I said, you don't have to, but I truly appreciate if you do, you will keep getting access to all the extendeds that I do. So I think it's worth it. Like I said, it's only $5.55. So if you want to, go down below, click the link that'll take you over to my Patreon. You can sign up and get instant access to find out more about what's going to happen in this situation. We'll get a lot more details about what's coming up for you, so you can know what to expect. You can know, if there's going to be union in the next year. Maybe we'll find out more what they're going to say with this alcohol intoxication. I don't know. We're going to see what comes out. Whatever spirit thinks you need to know. This is inspired wisdom from spirit. Very valuable. And you can use your intuition. Absolutely. You should be using your intuition. You should be growing your intuition so you can know for yourself, but this will give you confirmation of what you know. That's what this should be for. But it's also potentially giving you pieces of the puzzle that will help you fit, giving you clues of what you need to know. Because I'll tell you what, I have learned a lot about myself and my situation by watching other people's readings and then following, like I said, the things that I hear over and over again. When I hear it so many millions of times, I take it as fact at that point. It's like, you're a twin flame, you're a twin flame. If I hear that so many times, if I hear, I hear you have blood of the gods. Well, I am O negative, and there are people that think that, your blood is royalty and all this stuff. Who's Maji got the tea? She says stuff like that, but it actually fits with the fact that I'm O negative. So, when you hear the same thing, but it's from different readers, different readings, and you hear the same thing, and the repeating numbers kind of throw out the same message, that's what you take it and you go with it, So I think it's worth it. Go down below and click that link. Go over to the extended, click on that, sign up, get these extra details. I will see you there. Now, I hope you enjoyed this part of the reading. This was pretty awesome. I love these cards. I love the message that came out. So let's go find out more.